Hello everyone, I'm Zuli. At the end of this tutorial, you're going to learn to build a landing page website for a software development company using React.js. So let's get to it. Let me walk you through what we're going to learn to build. First off, we're starting with the navigation bar. We have a very simple navigation bar with the nav logo here. We have our navigation links and we have a button to contact us. Then to our hero section, this is a very stunning hero section. It has two sections. We have this captivating text here, and then we have this other paragraph text with a button. If you hover on the button, you can see it moves a little bit up. And then we have this how we work section. For the how we work section, we start with the consultation, development and design and development, and then testing and deployment. So this is for this section. The hero section looks very stunning. And then down to the services render, we have graphic design, software development, software testing, UI UX design. So if you hover on it as well, you're going to see that each of the card moves up a little bit. This is looking very good. And now for the project section, we have this text here. We build brands that stand out. We have a button to get in touch, and then these are just samples of the websites that this particular company has worked on. Okay, so if you hover on it, you can see that we have another effect also for the project section. Now to the about us section. This about us is a very simple about us section. Okay, so we have an image on the left hand side and we have text on the right hand side. Now to the feedback from clients. So this is the feedback section and it's looking all good as well. Now to the footer. The footer is a very basic footer. It's very simple. So this is all we're going to learn to build in this particular tutorial. Alright, so let's get started. So first you're going to start with your VS Code. I'm on my VS Code now. Navigate to terminal, click on new terminal, and then in the new terminal you're going to change directory to your desktop. I have a folder for YouTube projects, so I'm going to change my directory to that because that is where I want to create the React app. And then you're going to run this command: npm create vite at latest, the name of the app you want to create, followed by the name of the app. So this is a software dev website. I'm just going to give it app, then hyphen space hyphen templates react. Make sure you're connected to the internet to run this command. So press enter. Now you're going to change directory to the app you just created, software dev app. Press enter, then you run this command, npm install. Make sure you're connected to the internet as well. So it's going to take a while. So after your React library has successfully been installed, you navigate to file, click on open folder, and then click on desktop. I created the app in YouTube project, so I'm going to open the YouTube project folder. And now I just need to locate the app, software dev app, select the folder and open it in VS Code. Now the next step is to do some little cleanup. First off, you're going to open the source folder. So I'm going to start by deleting the app.css. I'm not going to use it. And then for app.jsx, I'm going to clean all of this up. So I'm going to delete everything. Ctrl A with backspace. Then I'm going to be using these shortcuts to create a functional React app. Press enter. To use these shortcuts, you need to have this extension. EX7 React Redux React Native. Okay, you should have this installed so that you can use every necessary shortcut in React. Then I'm going to close this. Back to my Explorer. My index.css, which is a global CSS, I'm going to be cleaning it up as well. And now for my entire folder, I'm going to set the margin to 0 and the padding to 0 as well. Now for index.css as well, I'm going to change the title of the project to Softify, which is Softify. Alright, so I'm closing this. Now we need to test if our React app is working. Right here, this is what we have. So navigate to your terminal, click on new terminal, and then you're going to run this command, npm run dev. This is going to give you a link to view your React application in your local host. So here is the link. Click on follow link. And then we have our app working. So let's test it again. So I'm going to minimize this terminal. And then here, I'm going to change this to, let's say, subscribe to my channel. So let's see. As you can see, this is looking okay and it's working perfectly well. Now we can now start creating our website. So first off, there are things you should notice here. We have icons here, React icons. That means we need to install React icon. We have icons here as well. So we need to install React icon. So on my new tab, I would enter React icon. We're using the npm package. So once you're on this website, you need to copy the installation code. Then navigate back to your terminal, open a new one, and then you paste the code you just copied, press enter. You need internet connection for this as well. So while the installation of React icon is going on, we need to create our component folder. So in the component folder, this is where we're going to have every other component that we're going to use for this project. I'm going to start with our navbar folder, and that is for navigation. We need the hero section folder as well. So I'm going to have the hero folder. We need the services folder. We need the project folder. We need the about folder. We need the feedback folder. And finally, the footer folder. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, React icon has been successfully installed. As you can see, added one package and edited 250 packages in 22 seconds. All of that has been installed. All right, let's continue. For each of this folder that I just created, we're going to create the GSX and CSS file for each of them because we're using CSS to style. So we're going to be creating the GSX and CSS file. So I'll click on new file, and here I'm going to have about.gsx. Click on the folder again, click on new file, and then we're going to have about.css. All right, so this is what we're going to do for each and every one of the folder that we've created. So RFC shortcuts. Now we're going to start our project with our navigation bar. So we're going to close the about files. Now I'm going to start with navbar. So I'm creating a new file, navbar.gsx. So the RFC, click enter, and then we can now start. Okay, so let's check it out. This is what we want to build here. For this navigation bar, we have three sections. All right, so we have the logo section, we have the links section, and we have the button section. So back to our app, delete this, and then we're going to have three divs. Okay, so the first div will be for, I'm going to start with div the navbar. So that is going to wrap around our entire navigation bar. And then we're going to have for the nav logo, the nav logo. Okay, we're going to have for links as well, another div tag for links. And then we're going to have for button, so for nav button as well. So within each of this container, this first one is for logo, and the name of the website is representing the logo, so Softify. And now for the link section, we're going to use a URL tag, and then we're going to have 4 list items. All right, so the first one is going to take home, the first link. The second link is going to take about. The third link is going to take services, and the last link is going to take projects. Now for the logo section, we're going to have a button, and the button is going to show contact us. All right, so it's as easy as this. We've created the navigation bar. Now we go back to our app.gsx, and then we're going to mount our navbar component right here. And then let's view our browser and let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have now. So we need to style it so that it's going to look exactly like this. So I'm going to open another file in my navbar folder, and I'm going to create navbar.css. Okay, before styling, you need to import your CSS file into your GSX file. So here we're going to have navbar.css. All right, so I'm going to copy for each of the sections here, for each of the class name. I'm going to style each of them. So I've copied for navbar. So we start styling. So the first property display is going to be flex, justify content, space around, and then align items. We want all our items at the center with a padding of 1 rem. Okay. Now what else do we have? We have the navbar logo. So for the navbar logo, we have an H2 tag, right? So here navbar logo and then an H2 tag. So I'm setting the font size to 1.5 rem. Next up is our links. So for the links, we have the UL tag and we have the list items itself. So for here, for the UL, display is flex, and then we're setting a gap of 1 rem between each of the list items. Now for the list item itself, I'm going to set the font size to 18 pixels and the font width to 600. Okay, now to the over effect, because right here we have over effect. When you hover on each of these links, it's showing purple. Now back here, I'm going to copy this, paste it, and then over. So when the user hovers, cursor will be set to pointer, and then the color will be set to this color code. Alright, next up is the button. So for the button itself, the padding is going to take 1 rem for the height and 2.5 rem for the width. Border will be set to none. Oh, come on, none. And then the background color will be set to this color code, the same color code we're using for the over effect on the link. And the text color will be set to white, while the font weight of the text in the button will be set to 600 with a border radius of 30 pixels. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so it's the same as what we have earlier. Now there's something here for each of this list item. There's decoration here, so we just need to remove that. So I'm going to come here and then I'm going to put list style. I'm going to set it to none. And then this is what we have, is just the same as this. Alright, so the next up is our hero section. Our hero section is a very captivating hero section. We have a background color, we have some of the text have a color, we have a button, and then we have this our work section. Alright, so let's get to that. First, I'm going to close my navbar.css and navbar.jsx. Close the folder as well. Now to the hero section, right click on new folder, new file. Oh, come on, sorry about that. Alright, click on new file, create your GSX file, hero.gsx. So refc, and then we can now start. So I'm going to create a div tag with a class name of hero. That is going to be the wrapper, and then we're going to have an h1 tag with a class name of hero header, and it's going to take this text. Alright, so we're also going to create a paragraph tag that is going to take this text as well. Next up, we're going to create a button. Alright, and it's going to take get started. And this button will have a class name because it's a call to action button. So this is going to be CTA button. Now we have the how to work section. Alright, so I'm going to create section with a class name of how we work. Okay, so in this section we have a header tag and it says how we work. And then I'm creating a div tag with a class name of steps. So for each of the steps there's a step. So I'm creating another div tag with a class name of step, and this is supposed to be 3. So this is going to be 3 steps, by the way. So I'm starting with the first one. So for the first step, we're using an icon, and this is the name of the icon, outline group. So because we have installed React icon, React is going to suggest a list of icons for us that we can use. So I'm using this second icon, and I'm giving the icon class name of hero icons. Then I'm going to close this. All right. And the next thing we're going to have is an H3 tag, another heading tag for this particular step. And it's going to take consultation. And then we're going to have a P tag that's going to take this text. All right. So that is for the first step. And then for the second step, let me just create two div tags at the same time. So it's going to be easier. Now we're using the laptop code icon, laptop code. So React library is going to suggest a list of icons that has this like laptop code for me. So I'm using the very first icon. I'm going to give it the same class name that I gave the icon earlier. Close this, and then we're going to have an H3 element, and it says design and development. And then we're going to have a P tag that is going to take this text as well. Now for the third step, we're using this icon. Okay, yeah, we're using this particular icon. I'm giving it the same class name that I gave the other icons in the other section. And then I'm going to close this. All right. So here we're going to have an H3 tag. Okay, so here H3 tag, and it's going to say testing and deployment. Next up, we have a P tag for paragraph tag, and it's going to take this. All right, let me minimize this a little more so that we can have a bigger screen. Okay, so basically, this is what we have. This is our hero section right here. So we can view it on the browser. We need to mount it in our app.jsx. Here, we're going to have hero. All right, so this is our hero section here. Now let's view it in our local browser. And then this is what we have. This is looking all 90s, right? So we need to style it so that we can have something more advanced like this. Okay, now let's start styling. So first off, in the hero folder, we're going to create a new file for hero.css. Now we're going to import our CSS file into our JSX file, hero.css, and then we can start styling. Copy this. We're starting with hero, paste it. Display will take grid. We want it in grid format. The height of this section will be 120 VH. And then I want all the items at the center. So place item to the center. Now for background color, it's going to take this color code with a border radius of 40 pixels. Now the width of this entire hero is going to be 90%. Oh, come on, that is not a percentage sign. All right, so this is 90% and justify self. Want it at the center. Now let's see. All right, so currently this is what we have. What else do we need to style here? The header. All right, so for the header, I'm going to set the font size to 50 pixels. Right, I want the text at the center with a margin top of 40 pixels. Okay, all right, so that's something here. All right, so we have this other text here. Transforming your business has a color, right? It has its own text color, so we need to do that. So back to our hero section. This is it. Transforming your business. Control Z. All right. So I'm going to add a span tag here. Span. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this out and put it in the middle of our span element. Right. So for the hero header, for the span, the text color is going to take this color code. Okay, and also there is a break in between the texts, right? So let's see. All right, so this is what we have, and it's looking all good. Now we have a paragraph tag here in the hero section as well. So for hero, for the paragraph, we're setting the font size to 20 pixels, and I want the text at the very center as well. Now for the button, so for hero, I think the button has a class name. It's a call to action button. So for hero CTA button, I'm going to set the padding to 1 rem for the height and 2.5 rem for the width. Color here will take white. Background is going to take this color code. And then border will be set to none. Okay, border radius on all sides will be set to 30 pixels. And then cursor is pointer. The font weight of the text will be set to 600. And then I'm adding a transition. So when you transform it, I want to have 0.3 second is. Now we have over effects as well. So that when you hover on it, transform, translate on y-axis by -5 pixels. Alright. So this is what we have now. Now we're going to continue styling. So for the how we work section, copy, paste it here. Now text align at the center. We're going to add a padding of 16 pixels, 20 pixels with a background color of white. And then the border radius is going to take 40 pixels. Now for the box shadow, it's going to be 4 pixels, 8 pixels with this color code. Now we have an H2 tag here, and then we have the steps. Alright, so the H2 tag, that's what we're styling now. We need to set the font size to 2.5 rem with a margin bottom of 10 pixels. Okay, next up we have the steps, right? So I'm just going to copy, paste this here. So display is going to be flex, justify content will be center, align items at the center, and now flex wrap will be wrap. Now we have each of the steps. So for step, copy, paste it here. Now for step, flex will be set to 1, and then the max width is 250 pixels. Margin is going to take 40 pixels. Text align, one of the text at the center, and then transition. We're using the same transition as this, so I'm just going to copy this, and then I'll come paste it here. Now for the over effect on step, we're using the same over effect that we use here on the button. We're using the same thing here, but this is going to have cursor pointer. Alright, what else do we have? We have H3 tag and P tag in the step wrapper. Okay, so for step, the header for each of the step, the font size is going to take 1.5 rem, margin bottom of 10 pixels, and a color black. Now for the P tag as well, the font size is going to take 1.1 rem with a color of this color code. All right, let's check what else. Okay, for the hero icons, for each of the icon, we need to style that as well. We need to set the font size to 40 pixels, and then margin bottom is going to take 25 pixels. Now let's see what we've been doing so far. All right, this is looking all good. This is okay, and it's the same as what we're trying to build. Now we're moving to the services section. Let's see, is the overall effect working? Okay, right, this is looking good. This is looking good. This is also looking good. This is looking all good as well. Feel free to add any design of your choice, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel, guys. Please do not forget to subscribe. Please support my work by subscribing. I would really deeply appreciate it. All right, so this is working. Now we have the service section. I love the service section because it's very detailed and it's very, very captivating. Okay, so for the service section, if you hover on it as well, we're using the same over effect that we have here. We're using the same thing here. And then for the entire section, we have border top radius here, both on the left and the right section. And for each of the card, we have an icon, we have the name of each of the services, and we have this little text here. Now we have icon here also to expand. Okay, so let's build this. This is looking all good. Let's work on this. So we need to close our hero section. We're done with that. Close the folder as well. Now for the services, create a new file. For give it services.gsx rafc. Okay, now before anything, for this service section, it has details. We have icon here, we have the name, the title, we have description, and then the icon as well. As I said earlier, all of this information in React, we're going to have all of this detail as an array of objects. Let me show you what I mean. So first off, right here, okay, we're going to create an array of objects, and I'm going to give it a name, services. And now the first object here is going to be a title, and the title is graphic design. Okay, we're going to have the description as well, and it's going to take this dummy text here. And now, okay, I need a comma. And now for the icon, okay, we're going to be using this laptop code icon. Okay, so React has suggested it. So this is what our array object is going to look like. So for the first object, we have the title, we have the description, and we have the icon. And that is the same thing that we have here. We have an icon, we have title, and we have description. So I'm going to create for others. I'm going to create for the software development, UI UX design, and software testing. So I'm going to pause this video and do that right now. All right, so I'm done. I've done for software development, UI UX design, software testing, and now we can now start our coding proper. I'll start by creating a class name with a div tag with a class name of services container. Now we're going to map over the array of objects that we created earlier. We're going to map over the service array. So here we're going to have services. We're using the map method. We're going to pass service, each of the service, and then the index number. So creating an arrow function, and now we can now start every other thing. I'll create a div tag, close the div tag. So in between this div tag is where this is like this div tag. I'm giving it a class name of services card. So service card, and then it's going to take a key, which is going to serve as the unique identifier for each of the card objects, right? So for each of the objects in our array, we're using index. So index is the unique identifier. Now I'll create a div tag with a class name of service icon. We're starting with icon, right? So that's why we have that. So here we're going to have service dot icon. All right. Now next up we need a header. So I'm creating an h3 tag with the class name of service title. So for the service title as well, this is going to take curly braces service dot title. Now we're going to have description, a p tag with a class name of service description. So this is going to be service dot description. Also the expand, so the expand icon. So this is going to take button dot expand. The class name is going to be expand button, and this is going to take the expand icon. So React is going to suggest from React icon library. Okay, so I'm using the first one, and then I'm just going to close this. All right, so this is what we have, and it's looking all good. To view this, we need to mount it in our app.jsx. So here we're going to have services. Okay, and it has been imported right here. Okay, so this is what we have now. We just need to style it so that it's going to look exactly like this. So in the services folder, we're going to create the CSS file. So you're going to import, to start, you're going to import the CSS file into your JSX file, / services.css. Okay, and then we can now start styling. Now we start with the services container. So display here will be grid, and then grid template columns, repeat to. Now the gap will be set to 1.5 rem, and then padding of 6 rem with a background color of this color code. Now back to the services, we need to copy this service card and then paste it here. Position will be set to relative. Background color is going to be set to white for each of the cards, and then the padding will be set to 3.5 rem with a border radius of 10 pixels, and then box shadow. We're using the box shadow that we used earlier in our hero section. So this color code 0.1. Now transition as well. Transform 0.3 second is okay. So for the over effect on the service card, transform will be translate on y-axis, translate on y-axis -5 pixels. Now for the service icon, we need to set the font size to 2 rem with a margin bottom of 1 rem. What else do we have? We have the service title. So Ctrl Z. All right. So for the service title, we're going to set the font size to 2 rem, and then the font width to bold, and the color code will take this color. We have the service description. Back to our CSS, and then we're going to paste it here. The font size here, we need to set it to 1 rem, color with this color code, and then margin is going to be 0.5 area 0. Now what else do we have? All right, so we have the expand button. So for this, position will be set to absolute, top will be 1 rem, right will be 1 rem as well, and then background color will be set to black. The text color will be set to white. That's the icon color, right? So the border will be set to none, and then the border radius will be set to 10 pixels, while the padding will be set to 0.9 rem. Cursor will be pointer, and now for the font size to be set to 2 rem. Okay, there should be, okay, enter. Now for the, so this is all for the service. Let's check. All right, so this is what we have, and it's looking exactly like what we're trying to build. So this is what we have now. All right, so there's something here in the service section, for the service section and every other section, right? We have border radius around the top section. Okay, we have a little curve at the top section, both for the feedback, the footer, every other component here has this border radius around the top. Okay, so I'm going to head over to index of CSS since it's all of, so since it's all of the components that is going to make use of it to avoid retyping. So I'm going to set the border top, the left radius, oh come on, top left radius to 40 pixels, and then the border top right radius as well to the same value. Okay, so I'm just going to be using this border across wherever I want it to be. So this is going to have border, no dots, just border. And now, as you can see, this has been applied to it already. We have the little curve right here. Okay, so next thing here is the project section. The project section is it's looking outstanding. The background color is black and the text color is white. We have a button here, and then when you hover on each of the project, as you can see, it becomes smaller, and the hover effect is actually very smooth. This is very, very smooth to hover on. Okay, so we have for each of the projects, we have an image, we have the title, we have little text, and we have a button lookalike, which is also a link. Okay, so we're going to be building all of this right now. So let's get started. So I'm going to close the services.gsx and services.css, and then create gsx and css file for project. So here we're going to have projects.gsx refc. So I'm going to start by creating a div tag here with a class name of projects, and for the border, I'm also going to create a class name of border here. Now the div section will be, this project is going to have two sections, the header and the project item. So I'm creating div tag for header, and then I'm creating another div tag for project items. Okay, so for the header section, we're going to have an h3 tag, and it's going to take this text, okay, and then we're going to have a button as well, and it's going to take this text, get in touch. Now for the second div tag, which is the project item, before we work on this, we need to create our array of objects that is going to store all of this information. That's going to store the image, the title, the description, and the button as well. I've created it already, so I'm just going to paste it here. I've created the array of objects. So I gave it the name projects, and this is everything. We have the image, we have the title, and we have the text. Okay, so we need to import all of the images that we're going to be using for this. So this is all of the images that we're going to be using for this entire project. So I'm going to copy and paste it in my assets folder. All right, so we've imported every single images here, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. Import medical from asset folder, and the name here is medical.jpg. Okay, so that is for this first image. We have for CRM, we have for staffs, we have for landing page, we have for kitchen and finance as well. So I'm just going to copy this and then paste it again. So I want to change the name here. I've highlighted this, so I'm going to click on Ctrl D. I'm going to change this to CRM. Paste what I copied again. Highlight the first one, Ctrl D. I'm going to change this to, what's the next thing, staff. And then paste what I copied again. Highlight it, Ctrl D. And then I'm going to change this to landing. Then we have for kitchen and finance. So do the same thing. Highlight, Ctrl D. This is going to take kitchen. Paste the last one. And this is going to take finance. Alright, so we've imported all of the images that we're going to be using for this project. We have all of it here. And now we can now start mapping over our array of objects. So in the project item section, I'm just going to map. Here, we're using the map method. Okay, so there's a typo here. This is supposed to be projects. Okay. And now the map method. This is going to take index, comma. Okay, sorry. We're supposed to start with projects and then index, which would serve as the unique identifier. Here I'm creating another function, and we are going to return. I'll create a div tag with the class name of item. Okay, what's the issue here? Ctrl Z. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to remove this return statement. Okay. And then this as well. Okay. So we're going to use our normal brackets. And then we're going to return a div tag. Let me close this. Alright. So in between this div tag is where we're going to have our image. But this needs to take, this needs a class name, right? So here we're going to have class name, and it's going to be item, and then we need the key as well, and it's going to be index. Okay, so for the image, we have image here, right? So I'm going to replace this quotes with a curly braces, and now this is going to take project dot image. So after the image, we have the info. I'm creating a div tag with a class name of info. So the info container is going to take an h4 tag, and then this a curly braces project dot title. This is going to take the title. Okay, and now next thing is the p tag for text. This is going to take project dot text. And then we're going to have the link tag as well to view the project. So I'm just going to give this an hashtag. Okay. And then we're going to have view projects here. All right. So to view all of what we just created here, we need to mount it in our app.jsx. So project. So we're mounting our project here. Now let us see what we just did. So as you can see, we have all of this right here, but it's not looking all good because we're yet to style them. But the image is showing, the text, the title, the description, and all of that is showing. So we just need to style. So back here, we're going to create our project.css file. Project.css. So you open your project.css, but you need to import your CSS file into your JSS file. And then we'll start from this project here. You copy this back to your CSS file and then you paste it here. Padding 110 pixels, 85 pixels. We're using a dark background, so background color will take black, and then the text color will take white, while margin top, we want it to be on top of the other components that comes before it. So it should be before the preceding component. And then we'll start with the header. Next thing here. So we copy the header as well. So in the header we have the heading tag at the bottom. So this display will be flex. And then we want all the items at the center. Justify contents. One space between all of the items with a margin bottom of 30 pixels. So for the H3 tag in the header, the button, let's start with the button first. Padding will take 1 rem for the height and 2.5 rem for the width. The text color will be white. Background color will take this color code. And then border will be set to none. Cursor will be set to pointer. The font width will be set to 600. Okay. Now we have the project items. You paste it here. For the project items, the display will be grids and then grid template columns. We want you to repeat 3, 1FR, gap of 30 pixels, align item center, justify content, space between. And now for each of the item card, now for each items, you do for project items, and for each of the items, the width will take 100%, background color will be white, with a border radius of 10 pixels on each side, and then we'll have border bottom of 4 pixels solid transparent. Cursor will be pointer, and then transform scale of 1. Now for the over effects, transform scale, we want to reduce it. So when the user over on it, it will reduce by 0.9. Okay. So in the project, in the item itself, we still have an image. So we need to style the image as well for project items, for item, and then the image tag. The width of the image will take 100%, and then we'll set the height to 290 pixels. Object fits, cover, object position, it should be at the top, and then border radius, We take 10 pixels, 10 pixels, 20 pixels, 20 pixels. Alright, so in the item container as well, we have the info as well. So for item, the info in item, display will be flex, and then flex direction, column, with a gap of 14 pixels, and then padding will take this figure, this value. We'll have an h4 tag in the info. So for the h4 tag, font size will be 20 pixels, and then the color will be black. We have a p tag as well. So in info p tag, the font size will take 13 pixels, and then the color will take this color code. We have a link tag as well, info, the color is going to be black, and then text decoration, underline, text underline offset will be set to 10 pixels, and then the text decoration color will be this color code. Okay, so if you view our local browser now, this is what we have. So the text here is very small, so we missed this, and the border radius here as well. So back to our code, we'll come here for header, the h3 tag, font size, we'll set it to 35 pixels, and then for the button, the border radius on the button, radius 30 pixels. Alright, so this is what we have now. If you hover on it, you can see the smooth transition, and you can see the change in size of each of the cards. So this is what we have. So the next thing we need to work on now is the about us section. So let's get to that. So I'll close project.css and the JSX for projects, and now we're going to open our about section. So for the about, we need the image, and we need this list as well with the icons. So in the code, in our asset folder, this is the image that we're using, about the JPG. So I'm going to import this image here, import about image from / asset folder / about.jpg. Also, for the list that we have here, we're going to create an array of objects that is going to contain the icon and the text. So I've created the array of objects that we're going to be using here. So I'm just going to paste it here. This is this. The array name is about lists. And then we have the objects for the icons, each of the properties, icon and title. These are key value pairs. This is the key, these are the values, title, cloud computing, and all of that. So what we're going to do now is to create a div tag for the about, and the about section is also going to take this border sign. So here in our return statement, I'll create a div tag with a class name of about and another class name of border, so that the border is going to be applied. And we have two sides, the left and the right side. The left is going to take, so we're creating a div tag for the left side, which is where we're going to be having our image, and then we're creating another div tag for the right side, and that is where we're going to be having our list. So in the left side, we're having our image, and I'll replace this quotes with curly braces. I give the image about image, so that is that for the left side. And now for the right side, we're using an heading tag with the class name of right header, and it's going to take about us, and then a p tag as well that is going to take a short description of the service your company provides and how it helps your client's business increase revenue and all of that. Increase revenue. using technology and strategy your company provides. So after this paragraph tag, we'll start mapping. We're going to map over the array of objects that we created earlier. So we're mapping over about lists. We're using the map method, and then we'll create an arrow function. I'm going to destructure the icon and title here. Okay, it should be comma. So we just created an arrow function now, and then we're going to return a div tag, div, close the div tag. So we don't leave this div tag, we're going to have another div tag with the class name of list. And in the list, we're going to have an h2 tag with the class name of icon. In this icon, we're going to have pass our icon. And then we're going to have a paragraph tag where we're going to pass our title. So for the initial div, the class name is going to be list container. Okay, so this is what we have in our, this is supposed to be curly braces. Okay, so now that we're done with our about section, all we need to do is to mount it in the app.jsx. So we're going to have about, and now let's view what we have in our local host. Okay, so if we go down, this is the image here, and this is the text with the icon and the list. So let's style this. So let me close my asset folder. I'll open my about.jsx, but first off, I need to import my CSS file into my JSX file so that I can start styling. We'll copy these about, paste it here. Now display will be flex, padding inline of 100 pixels, justify contents, space between, with an height of 120 VH. Margin top will be minus 40 pixels, and the background color will be white, while the gap between the two sides will take 50 pixels. So we have the left side, let me copy this again. Okay, we have the left side and we have the right side as well. We're styling both. Margin top of both will take 50 pixels. Now we have an image on the left side. So we style the image. The width will take 500 pixels. The height will take 720 pixels with a border radius of 30 pixels on both sides. Object fit contain. Now on the right side, we have the right header. For right side, right header, the font size will take 3 rem. And then I'm going to add the margin bottom of 15 pixels. We have a p tag as well at the right side. So the font size of that will take 20 pixels. Now we have list containers. For our list container, display will be flex, and then flex direction will be column with a padding of 1 rem. We have list itself. For list, display will be flex, and then gap of 15 pixels. Now we have the icon. Now for the icon, the color will take this color code. And then the font size will be 34 pixels. There's something wrong with our color. Font size. Font size. So problem, let me see. Color as BF40 BF. Okay, font size will take 34 pixels. So let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have on the screen now. And now the next thing we need to work on is the comments from clients. After that, we have the footer. So we need to work on comments from clients, the feedback. So I'm done with the about section. We're going to close the about the JSX and about the CSS. And then we'll navigate to our footer, create a new file, feedback.jsx, RAFC shortcuts, and then we'll create the CSS as well, feedback.css. Okay, so for the feedback section, we're going to be needing those two images. So I'm going to import both image, lady 1 from our asset folder, and then we import the second one from our asset folder, and the name of the image is lady2.jpg as well. Also, we need to create an array of objects that would take the feedback data. I've created the array of objects, so I'm just going to copy and paste it here so it will be faster. So this is what we're going to be using. We have the images, the icon. We need to import the icon. Import with double quotes. Okay, the first one from React icon. So this is looking all good. So we have the image, the icon, the name, the company, and the comment itself. So in the return statement, I'm going to create a div tag with the class name of feedback, and we need the borders as well. So border. Now we're going to have an heading tag, but this is going to be an h4 tag. So here from our clients, and then I'm going to create another div tag with the class name of customers. Now we're going to map over the array of objects that we created for feedback. So here, feedback, I have it here, feedback dot map method. Let's destructure image, icon, name, company, and comments. Okay, and then we'll create an arrow function here so that we can now return another div tag. Close this div tag. I'll give this div tag a class name of I'm coming. Let's create another div tag with the class name of user. Okay, so the initial div tag is going to take a class name of item. So we're going to have an image tag here. After the image tag, we're going to have the info tag, a div tag with feedback info. Okay, so in the info, we're going to have an h5 tag, which is going to take the name, and a p tag, which is going to take the company. Oh, what is this? Okay, p tag, it's going to take company. And then for the image, replace this, and then it's going to take image. Remember that we've destructured it all here. So after this feedback info, after the entire user section, we're going to have the comment section itself, and the comment section is going to have an h2 tag with a class name of icon, and then we're going to have the comment itself in a p tag. All right, so we can now mount our feedback into our app.jsx file. Now let's view what we just created here. First off, I created an array of objects. For each of the objects, we have image, icon with their values as well, name, company, comment, and we have 3 of these. And then we created a div tag for feedback and the borders. We have an heading tag, and we have the customer section where we mapped over the feedback array, and then the structured image, icon, name, company, and comment. So this is what we currently have. These are the images, and this is everything. So we need to style it so that it's going to look like this. So to style, we're going to import our CSS file, the usual import.feedback.css. Okay, oh, there's a typo error here. We need to rename this feedback. Okay, so I'll copy this feedback, copy this, paste it here. Now we'll set the padding to 5 pixels, 40 pixels, and then the height of the entire feedback section will take 75 VH with a background color of this color code. And then margin top will take minus 30 pixels, overflow on x-axis will be hidden. Now we have an h4 tag for the header. So for feedback h4, margin top will take 20 pixels, and then the font size will take 26 pixels. Text align center. Now we have the customers. So for this class name, margin top will take 30 pixels, display will be flex, gap will take 40 pixels, overflow on x-axis also, and then padding will take this value. So we have item here. I'm going to name a feedback item so that it will not clash with the item we have in project items. So here for feedback item, minimum width we take 250 pixels, display will be flex, flex direction will be column, gap will be 20 pixels, with a border radius of 10 pixels, and then we need to set the padding to 30 pixels. Cursor should be pointer, and the box shadow here 0.4 pixels here, and here 8 pixels with this color code. And the background for each of these cards is going to take white. So in the feedback item, we have a p tag for this comment. So we're just going to set that straight. So for feedback, for the p tag, the line height will take 22 pixels, while the font size will be 14 pixels. Okay, so now back to what we're doing initially. We have the user section as well. So for feedback item, for user, display will flex, align items center with a gap of 10 pixels. So in the user section, we have a p tag as well, and we're going to set the font size here to 12 pixels. Oh, come on, font size to 12 pixels. All right. So we have, now for the image in the user section, we're going to have user img tag, the width will be 40 pixels, the height will be 40 pixels, object fit, cover, and a border radius of 50%. And then we need to fix the scroll bar when it is responsive. So for feedback, for customers, WebKit, scroll bar, the height will be set to 8 pixels. And now I'm just going to copy this and then paste it here. For the tone, yeah, we're going to set the background color to this color code, and then the border radius will take 10 pixels. All right, so this is what we have here. Let's see. So this is what we have at the comments. Okay, we need to change the color of this icon. Okay, so let's just add it here. For comment, okay, let me see. Where do we have the icon? We have the icon in this comments side. Okay, so for comment h2 tag, the color will be set to this color code. Let's see the changes, and then this is what we have. It's exactly like this. Now the last thing here is the footer section. So we'll close the feedback.css and feedback.jsx, and then we're going to open our footer section. So footer.jsx, we're creating our JSX file, RAFC shortcut to create React app, and then we'll open our footer.css as well. I'm going to close all of this in the asset folder, and we'll start with our footer. First, we need to mount the footer component here. Okay, so our main footer now, we create a div tag with a class name of footer, and we're applying the border to it as well. Then we'll create a div tag with a class name of footer contents. So we have the left section. This is supposed to be footer, and we have the right section as well. For the left section, the header will be the name of the company, Softify, and then we're going to have a div tag for all our social icons, and then this is going to take Facebook. React is going to suggest different React icons that we can choose from. So we're using this first one. I'm giving it a class name of social icon, and then I close this. We're going to have Instagram. So we're using the same class name as well. So I'm just going to copy this and paste this here. And then we're using the YouTube logo as well. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, guys. So we're using this first one. I'll paste the same class name. Now for the right section, we're going to have lists. We need 4 list items. First is taking home. The second is taking services. The third is going to take about us, while the last is just going to take contacts. Okay, so once we're done, we're going to have the HR tag, and then we need the copyright section, and then it's going to take this value. Okay, so we have in our footer section right now. Let us style it. So open our footer.css. First off, we need to import our CSS file. Import./footer.css. So we start with footer, and then we'll paste it in our CSS file. Display here will be flex, and then flex direction will be column with a gap of 30 pixels and a padding of 80 pixels. Then we'll have our text color to be white because we want the background to be black, and then margin top we take -50 pixels. Okay, now for the footer content, paste it here. Display will be flex, and then justify content space between. Now we have the left and the right side. So for the left side, we're styling the socials directly. So we'll come here, copy this, paste this here. For socials, display will be flex, gap of 15 pixels with a margin top of 10 pixels. Now we have social icons, like each of the icons. So here, social icons, font size will take 20 pixels. Now footer right, we have list here. So here we have display flex with a gap of 15 pixels. Now we have list item on the list as well. So footer right, ULLI for list items, and the font size will be 18 pixels. In the left section, all right, so this is what we have. Now we need to style the copy, and we need to ensure that for each of the list items, we don't want any decoration, we don't want any list style. So list style will be set to none. And now for the copyrights, for copy, text align, I want it at the center, and the font size will take 18 pixels. Okay, so this is what we have at the end of this tutorial. If you watch this tutorial to the end, you're going to have this on your screen right now. Okay.